to all my self-care family and friends. Welcome to another episode of the Room to Breathe podcast, the space where we untangle life's chaos, dig deep, and give ourselves permission to exhale. I'm your host, Life Coach 614, and I am so thrilled to have each and every one of you here with us today. Whether you're listening from the comfort of your home, on your morning commute, or while you're out taking a walk, I'm just grateful that you've carved out this time for yourself. Now, before we dive into today's episode, just a quick reminder. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to tap the screen, like, comment, and share. Your support helps us to connect with more amazing people like you. And if we're not friends already, please be sure to give us a follow, subscribe to our channel, so that way you never miss out on our latest content. I also invite you to visit our website at theselfcareclub.org. We have some awesome affirmative apparel, motivational merch, and a bunch of free resources designed just for you. No matter what challenges you are currently facing in life, remember that you are not alone on this path. We are in this together, supporting and uplifting each other every step of the way. It is time for us to choose to prioritize our well-being, to embrace our growth, and find peace in this present moment. So let's get ready to breathe, reflect, and grow together. Now, today's episode is all about tapping into hidden emotions. Because if we're being real, you can't heal what you can't feel. Now, I know we hear a lot about self-care these days, the bubble baths, yoga, the treat yourself moments, but what about the kind of self-care that goes deeper? The kind that requires us to sit with our emotions and process our pain and truly heal. What most people don't tell you is that healing isn't about avoiding what hurts. It's about facing it, feeling it, and moving through it. And today, I have the perfect guest to help us with this. Joining me today is someone who is deeply rooted in emotional healing. She is not someone who's just talking about transformation. She is someone who's guiding others through it. I want you to meet the amazing Laura Davis Perry, a licensed therapist and brain spotting consultant who helps people to process trauma and reconnect with their emotions. Welcome to Room to Breathe. Thank you so
How
much
are you?
today. I'm well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to be in your presence. It's always a joy to talk to you and just see what's going on with you in your life. You're doing so many different things. So I'm grateful to be here today.
Thank you. Well, we're definitely grateful to have you. I've been so excited about doing this particular podcast. So, I guess let's get into it, right?
Get into it.
Right, like ain't nothing to it but to do it. So
do it.
Exactly. All right. So we live in a world where I feel like many of us are constantly on the go, right? Juggling responsibilities. And sometimes in the process, I think we lose touch with who we truly are and like what we're truly feeling. Often people don't realize that they're suppressing their emotions that really need to be addressed. And so with that in mind, let's dive into this topic and start to unpack some of these concerns.
Okay.
What are some common reasons people avoid or suppress their emotions?
There are many reasons that people suppress their emotions. Some of them are visible, some of them are not. The main one that I can think of is fear of vulnerability. They fear being judged, fear being misunderstood. If they express their true feelings, and that leads to people hiding or denying their emotions. They don't want to do it. It's also a part of cultural norms in some cultures. Some cultures promote, stoicisms and discourage emotional expression. They act like it's a weakness, or they believe the belief system is that it is a weakness to show emotions, and it causes individuals to feel that showing their emotions, is a negative thing. Like, think about the African American community as a whole. I was brought up believing that what happens in this house stays in this house, and we don't tell our business We don't tell
Right.
our business to nobody, especially no white people talking about no counseling. We don't talk about no counseling. Those are things that I grew up doing, and now look at me, I'm a counselor, which is, it's a total turn from what I believed in before. Another avoidance is pain. They want to avoid pain. That's another reason that they do it. People may suppress emotions to avoid experiencing pain or discomfort associated with certain feelings, particularly sadness, anger, anxiety. People don't want to relive those things that cause them to feel that stuff. So, avoiding that pain, avoiding talking about it, suppressing those memories as they try to do, is something that causes people to be able to, not show emotions. Lack of awareness is another one. Some individuals may not even recognize their emotions or understand how to articulate them, leading to suppression. Like you hear a lot of people talking about men not knowing how to express their emotions right now, or never being taught or never being allowed to, express it. They're not aware that they need to express these emotions and let them out, which would help them in dealing with some of the things that they're going through. Fear of conflict, a perception that if you let your emotions out, you're going to lose control. Because of the overwhelmingness. Like, think about if you've ever been a person that's had to cry about something. And if you're crying about it, sometimes you can't control it. You have to let that cry pass, right? Or you see people who get so mad that they can't control themselves. Some people say, I'm going to suppress this because I don't know what's going to happen. And it's too overwhelming, to maintain their sense of control in their lives, so it can have significant effects on both the mental and the physical, so we have to really think about that with all of these things.
Yeah. How can ignoring our emotions affect our mental and physical health?
Wow. Like I said, it can have significant issues, mental health issues. Suppressing emotions can lead to anxiety, depression, increased stress levels, as unresolved feelings may manifest in harmful ways. Like, that stress can build up, and how they say people have a breakdown or spazzing, or what they say now, crash out, different things that occur because of suppressed emotions that have been triggered, and the person cannot control them in that moment. Physical health problems. Chronic suppression of emotions can contribute to physical ailments, high blood pressure, headaches, digestive issues, sleep issues. I even saw a study where it talked about how suppressing those emotions and stuff can, put you at risk for heart disease due to the stress that you're under and the stress that your body is feeling as a result of you suppressing those emotions. It can cause relationship strain. Avoiding emotions can create barriers in personal relationships. There'll be misunderstandings because mentally your mind is telling you something that's not true, and you don't have the capacity to view it in a different perspective. So you believe that thinking trap just came up, and it's really not true, and it causes resentment. It causes emotional distance. I mean, a lot of relationships have been broken up between families, siblings, parents and child. I mean, marriage is broken up because of misunderstandings and because no one took the time to really sit down and talk about what was going on. Emotional outburst, where I was talking about having that crash out, bottling up emotions, may result in an unexpected, intense outburst of emotions, especially when you're triggered with something that normally wouldn't bother you could cause a major explosion for no reason. And people wonder, well, how did that happen? Well, they've been holding in all of this stuff, and this was that, what did they say, that last straw or that last nerve?
Exactly, that last nerve.
Yeah, they danced on that last nerve, and then they couldn't hold it in anymore. And then it can cause people to not be able to cope in general. Ignoring emotions can hinder, it can hinder the development of healthy coping strategies, healthy coping mechanisms, things that we can do to help in just getting through life, because life is lifing for everyone. And
Right.
there are different things that come at us all the times that can affect us emotionally, affect us physically, affect us mentally. And, you know, having outlets for that is very important. I'm a big proponent of self-care. I love that's why I love the name of your organization, Self-Care.
Yes.
And Self-Care Club. And being able to engage in self-care opens up ways for you to release that stuff, release those emotions, get rid of that negative baggage that you're carrying around, and enjoy yourself, right? So yeah, there are so many ways that emotional stress can affect us physically and mentally.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people can relate, you know, to how suppressing emotions can have like a really big impact.
Yeah, acknowledging and processing emotions is crucial for maintaining mental and physical well-being. I mean, it's just a crucial part of it.
Yeah, I recently shared a story about ice cream. So embarrassing. But I told people, you know, back in the day, I was dating someone and he's the sweetest person. And I asked him to bring me some ice cream on his way over. And I thought that that was, you know, not too big of a task. Well, this man showed up and he didn't bring me no ice cream. And at first I was like, oh, it's okay. But then like that little girl in me just showed up and was like, no, the hell, it's not okay. He don't care about us. He don't listen to us. Don't nobody care. You know, so all of a sudden I had this major crash out moment because I was triggered at the fact that, you know, the little girl in me just wanted some ice cream tonight, you know? And the fact that all of a sudden now I didn't feel seen, I didn't feel heard, like I lost it. And then, you know, the embarrassment, obviously that relationship didn't last, you know,
Right.
but the embarrassment that I had to go through, and I had to realize that it was so many suppressed things of being ignored or, you know, being silenced, all of these things. And it was so funny to me because it came out over some ice cream one night, you know, but I needed to process that. And so, yeah, I think that, you know, for me, I learned that that was a suppressed feeling or, you know, things that I had just let build up. And I thought I had to be okay with stuff and that I couldn't tell people that I was angry or mad, you know? So when that man didn't bring that ice cream over, I was like, it's okay. And then the little 7-year-old crashed out and was like, no, it's not okay. Stop telling these people it's okay, you know?
Yeah.
So I learned over ice cream. So don't be like me, y'all.
Well, sometimes those moments like that bring us to awareness to prevent something bigger from happening later. You know, now you have that awareness, right? You have that awareness about that 7-year-old and what she gonna crash out about.
Yeah,
right?
She a doozy, honey. She a doozy. She got her own boundaries now, and we adhere to her boundaries.
That's funny.
So, one of the things that I was blessed to learn something about, a little something about, is something called brain spotting. And I know that, you know, that's your jam right there. So are you able to explain to us what brain spotting actually is and how it differs from other healing techniques?
It's so crazy that you asked that. I just had a session with someone and my job is to talk to her about those things. But brain spotting is, to break it down, brain spotting is a therapeutic approach developed by Dr. David Grand in 2003. Primarily used for trauma therapy and emotional processing. You know, it's based on the idea that where you look can affect how you feel. The technique involves having the client focus on a specific eye position while recalling the distressing memory or emotion that they're having. This eye position is believed to help access deeper parts of the brain, you know, that are responsible for processing trauma and emotion. So it's just not talking about it, but in that moment, I like to feel like we're living that moment of the emotion, and you're feeling the emotion that you went through during that event, and you're learning how to process it from I would say from the top down, because you get, during the session, you get activated, what we call your SUDS level, which is measuring how how do you say, irritated you are, how
Mhm.
upset you are. We measure that from 0 to 10, and we try to get you as high as we can to process it down so that your reaction to this event will be different the next time that something like that comes up or a trigger happens. That's how I look at it. The difference is, from other healing techniques that it has, it's unlike the most traditional therapies that may rely heavily on talking, right?
Right.
Because when we were doing cognitive behavioral therapy, dialectical behavioral therapy, all of the other therapies, we're talking. Or, the other ones do cognitive restructuring. Brain spotting emphasizes eye positioning as a means of accessing emotional memories. So the unique aspect sets us apart from therapies like CBT and DBT. So just there's a physical piece of it. And if you give me a moment, I will grab the pointer to show you, if that's okay.
Absolutely. We like the interactive lessons now.
So what I have in my hand is a tool that we use during brain spotting. And one of the things about brain spotting is that that's different than others. We have direct brain access during the treatment. It targets the subcortical brain, where many emotions and traumatic memories are stored without needing to intellectualize or verbalize them extensively. Like, there's not a lot of talking during brain spotting. Correct?
Correct. I've been there, y'all. Been there.
Yeah. This differs from methods such as EMDR, which is eye movement and desensitization and reprocessing, which also uses eye movement, but in a more structured and directive manner. And the thing about brain spotting too is that it's more client-centered. It's a more client-centered approach. Brain spotting is highly attuned to the client's experience. This is about you, not me. As the clinician, I'm following your lead. The therapist, will guide the client to help find their own brain spot. Like, I'm letting you lead me where you need to go. I'm not, there's no direction on me telling you what you need. And half of the time, I don't even have to know what you're processing.
Right.
And the difference with brain spotting is we don't have to know what it is to know that it is. I know that there's an issue that needs to be worked on, and that's all I need to know. We don't have to know. You know how they say when people talk about pray for me, and
you don't need to know what's going on.
I don't need to know what's going on. All I heard was pray for you, so I'm going to pray for you. And it's the same thing with brain spotting. We don't have to know that it is what it is to know that it is. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's see what else about brain spotting. If I could say, it unlocks and releases emotions. Does that make sense? We were just talking about, emotional suppression and how emotions affect all of that. Well, it accesses the subconscious by focusing on a specific eye position while thinking about emotional distress. Clients can bypass the analytical mind and access deeper emotional mind, where we're thinking, the thinking brain, the reasoning brain, the rational brain. We're not there. We're going deeper past that. I like to say that brain spotting works from the bottom up.
It's funny because that was my next question. I feel like you're already tapped into my brain, because I was going to ask you, how does it unlock, help people to unlock or release the stored emotions? So you already knew right then.
Well, it leads to a more profound understanding and processing of stored emotions. Like, it really is amazing. It has changed my life. As the client engages with the trauma or emotional pain that they go through, from that eye position that they choose, they may experience physical sensations, emotions, memories that come up. And this process can facilitate a release of pent-up emotions, create a space of healing. Like, some people get angry because they're dealing with anger. And during that time, they're able to express their anger, say what they need to say, feel what they need to feel, and get it out. And it's like, afterwards, it feels like how you go work out, and at the end, you have that big thing where you can breathe better and feel
Mhm.
it. People have expressed that to me.
Yeah.
There's a neurobiological mechanism that exists with brain spotting as well. Brain spotting may help regulate the nervous system and promote emotional processing through the bilateral stimulation or deep focus, which can, it can enhance the brain's ability to integrate and resolve traumatic memories. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. It helps to stimulate deeper focus. Like you're looking at this situation from the let's say the rooter to the tutor, from the beginning to the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're resolving some of that stuff, like people who had traumatic interactions with family, or they have unresolved issues with family, or they have people who they feel have hurt them. A lot of times they get to an acceptance of it and understanding that, why these people did what they did, or why this happened the way that it happened. And then they're able to understand that a lot of times there was things that happened that couldn't be helped.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. And it doesn't mean that they are negative because this happened to them. It's okay for them to be free. It's okay for them to forgive. It's okay for them to move on. So those are the things that I've seen happening during that neurobiological mechanism. Self-discovery, empowerment are things that come to pass during or that manifest during brain spotting. The process allows clients to take an active role in healing
Mm-hmm.
in the whole journey. It fosters a sense of empowerment. Think about it as you uncover and process your emotions at a pace that you choose, because it's the client. I'm just holding space, and wherever the client goes, I follow them during that process.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, brain spotting it's just a unique and effective approach for those looking to address trauma and emotional challenges. It provides a different pathway to healing compared to most traditional therapeutic techniques. There's a close attunement with the therapist and the client. The therapist is holding space for that client to help them, to be there as they navigate through it. And like I said, the client is in control of everything during that session.
And that's something that I can definitely attest to with my experience with brain spotting. I think what I enjoy the most, even though I definitely give my therapist, the blues about it when it's time, but I definitely appreciate the taking up the space, because I think a lot of times, and this is just me personally, I would find it hard to sit in that solitude, right? And so most of the time when I'm processing a situation that has happened, I'm so busy running it back what he said, what she said, what they did, that I don't even know how I feel about it, or I don't even know what I did in it. And so when I, went through my sessions with brain spotting, it was like nobody else existed. I got to sit there in that moment and process how I feel, what I did, what I felt when they did it. So it wasn't that I erased them. It wasn't that I erased the situations, but I finally had the opportunity to process my emotions and how I felt about it, in a space that allowed me to cry, to scream, to do whatever. And I noticed that even after like my sessions, and I don't know what this is about, but after my sessions, I need a nap. Like,
Yes,
I need
yes.
to go and take a nap. Like, don't bother me. Give me my space, because it is a big emotional release. Even if I'm crying, and even if I go back to like the deepest, darkest trauma, it is such a like peaceful release in the end. So I definitely love that, and I think that would be beneficial to a lot of people, because some people just don't want to talk about it. Like, they don't want to say it, but it doesn't mean that they don't want to heal from it. And so I feel like brain spotting could be beneficial for people who don't want to necessarily talk about it, but they want to process it and get through it.
And I'm very transparent, with my clients, with people. Prior to brain spotting, I struggled with anxiety and claustrophobia really significantly. It was really bad. And to the point of in 2018, my daughter and I were flying to Virginia for my brother's college graduation, and I had a panic attack on the plane. And I had to get off the plane, and held up everything, and the pilot came out to talk to me and all this kind of stuff. So I ended up getting back on the plane, went ahead and we went to New York first, then to Virginia. And then because of some circumstances that happened with rain and all this stuff, and our landing being delayed, I had another panic attack in the air. And so it was just really bad. And it was to the point of where I could not get back on the plane to come home. When they had one of the higher ups from Delta come down to try to walk me onto the plane, and she was holding me tight, like really. And she showed me, she said, just lean your head in, look in. And I did all of that. I saw everything. But when I went to try to step on that plane, my whole body locked up, and she was like, oh my God, no, you're not going to be able to get on here. And so we ended up having to drive back home because I could not fly. And so the next time I had an attack like that was when I went to the Brain Spotting Convention in Denver a couple years later. And when I got ready to come back home, the experience in the airport was so overwhelming, and I was so just all out of sorts because it was hot and it was huge, and all of this kind of stuff. I had a panic attack on the plane and could not come home that night. I had to stay an extra night and then fly home the next day. So at that point I was like, no, we can't keep doing this. I have to do something. And so I got with one of the trainers at the conference, and I did 3 brain spotting sessions with her. 3. And now I am driving through tunnels, which was a big thing. I would have to pull over and sit for hours, seriously seeing if the traffic would just go down so I could go through the tunnel without being stuck in traffic, stuff like that. Girl, yeah. When I drive to North Carolina from Ohio now, I go through those 2 tunnels with no problems at all. So it's just, it was really about getting to the meat of everything and what was going on with me, and being aware of why this is, and acknowledging that it can't hurt me anymore. Whatever that was, that memory that I was suppressing, I finally did figure it out, and that through brain spotting. It was a suppressed memory that I had from childhood, and now I'm fine. I'm fine walking even walking down long halls that don't have windows was an issue. It was really bad, and brain spotting really helped me through it. So, I've been singing his praises ever since, because that was a long journey of just not being able to get jobs because of certain things with that. Even my career choice, which I guess was a good thing because I'm doing this now, right? But still, it is really amazing. But I wanted to show you this. This is a few of the tools that I use during brain spotting. Because we do have to use a pointer with some of what we call setups to get you started on the brain spotting. And so I would like to show a demonstration with Shantae on how we would start a session, if that's okay with you. Okay.
I'm here for it.
Okay, Shantae, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Thank you for coming in. You remember we talked about doing something a little different today with the treatment called brain spotting. So I really want to get us engaged in it. I've already explained everything to you. You understand it. So let's just get started, okay?
Okay.
So remember we talked about having pointers that would be a part of the session. So these are some of the ones that I have in the office right now.
Okay.
For you to choose from. So it's your choice what you want to use. You can use this plain one, or you can use some of the fingers or the squares or whatever works for you.
Let's use the yellow finger.
Yellow finger. Okay. All righty. So now, how do you want it? Do you want it this way? Do you want it that way?
That's fine.
This way is fine. Okay. All right. Hold on one second. All right. So now, I asked you before to have a issue that you wanted to process today. So can you tell me a little bit about what's going on that you want to process?
Yeah. I asked for, I guess, something. I don't know. I don't want to go into too much detail, but there was something that I requested to be done within our household, and I don't know. It just feels like nobody's listening to what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm starting to, I guess, really feel unheard within the household. Like, just like nobody's listening.
Nobody's listening
And
to
so it's just
you.
leaving, yeah, and it's just leaving me feeling really frustrated.
Okay. Okay. So when you talk about this and speak on what do you feel going on in your body right now as you're speaking about this?
It's getting a little warm. I feel like just like like a heat, like a frustrate. You know what I mean? Like when you get angry, you just feel warm, like hot,
And
physically.
where do you feel this heat at?
Um, Somewhat all over, but mainly like in my chest area, like my upper body.
Okay. In your upper body, and what does it feel like? Is it heavy? Is it like something just?
It's
Is it
it's like
tightness or?
a warm, like, yeah, I guess you would say like tightness, like a stuffy. You know, like if you're just like in a stuffy room, kind of
Mhm.
confined, or
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a restriction. So I guess tightness, yeah.
And on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being it's not that much. It doesn't bother me. I can get through it. Or 10 being the worst I've ever felt. Where would you say you are?
Probably about a 9 with the situation.
Okay. So I'm going to. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to move into what we call outside window setup of brain spotting, and we're going to process this. So I want you to continue thinking about this issue that you brought up and how you're feeling about it, what the things that you're feeling coming up in your body as I introduce the pointer. Now, can you see the pointer? Can you still see it?
Yeah.
Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pointer and go across your field of vision. Is this eye level for you? You don't have to look
Yeah.
down or up. Okay.
Yep, it's eye
I
level.
want you I want you to follow the pointer, the tip of the pointer with your eyes. And you said you wanted it this way, right? Was it
Yes.
this way? Okay.
Yep.
I want you to follow the pointer with your eyes, and I will help to find the brain spot for you. Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
I think I noticed something right here, right in here with you. So this is where we're going to do the focus mindfulness.
Okay.
And I would like for you to do that for a few moments for me. Just really continue focusing on the brain, on the pointer, and thinking about the issue that you brought up. I want to do a gentle check-in with you and see where you are with and what's going through your mind right now with this process.
Um, well, my eyes keep tearing up. I feel like I keep trying to blink away tears because it seems like all of a sudden I'm like somewhat emotional about it.
What's your level of activation at this point?
I feel like it's going down because I'm like talking about it, like I'm thinking about it.
So where are you at now? You started at a 9.
Probably about a 7.
I'm going to process for a few more minutes, and then we're going to go back to the beginning. All right.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm telling you that is because we have a short time.
Understood.
Okay. General check-in again. See where we are. What are you feeling right now? What's going through your mind?
I'm starting to think about the situation and see where there's some things that I could probably do a little differently. Being in the moment but not actually in the moment is giving me time to, I guess, maybe reflect on what I did in the moment that made me feel so hot. So yeah, it's giving me that reflection.
What's your level of activation?
I feel like I need to say it's still a 7 because I don't want to seem silly about it, but it's honestly probably down to about a 4 or 5 because I'm starting to see the role I played in the situation. Reacting instead of responding in the situation. So it's probably down to about a 4 or 5.
At this point, normally we would still continue processing until we got to 0 or as close as we could. And then once we got to 0, we would do what we call squeeze the lemon. We would go back to the very first thought and start over to see where that takes you, if it still activates you, right? And if it doesn't, then we end the session. So, but right now you say you're at a 4 or 5, so we still have to end. But I want you to, is it okay for me to remove the pointer right now?
Yes.
So with you being at a 4 or 5, if you were in a session with me and we had to end, I would have you do some deep breathing to calm down, to kind of regulate, your emotions and get you back to what we can say is regulated, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I would do in that moment if you were still that way, because sometimes people don't get back to 0. They still are up there at the end of the session because it's such a hot button or a hot point in their lives, and we have to do more than one session for things. So thank you so much for letting me hold space for you. Thank you for letting me show that example. I know it's a short example, but what I would tell people is go online, go to YouTube and look up Brain Spotting. There are many sessions on there. I even have a couple of sessions that I did with clients on my YouTube page, and they may even be on our website. And I'll give that before I get off of here, but please definitely look into it. If there's healing that you need, and I feel like all of us have been through some type of something in our life that's affected us differently, I won't even call it trauma because some people don't like to say the word trauma. I've never experienced any trauma. Okay. But if you've lived your life, you've had something that's worth.
I don't identify with trauma. I heard somebody tell me the other day, I don't identify with trauma.
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
okay,
Oh my God.
I still got it.
Yeah. So it's very important that we, I know I joke and laugh a lot, but it's really important that we access the tools and the resources that are out there for us to help us with these things so we can live a better life, a more, I know for me, after figuring out a lot of this stuff with mental health, so many things have opened up. My way of thinking has changed,
Yeah.
my way of interacting with others has changed. Now, I still have my moments. I ain't perfect. Don't get me wrong, because it doesn't change all of that. But
Yeah.
just the way I look at it, the way I experience it is different. And, we are always our worst critics. That was one of my biggest issues, my self-critical thinking. And so, being able to change that and live differently and love myself differently has been amazing through this emotional process. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love the fact that for me, it really helped me to just process things differently. Like, it didn't change what was happening in my life. It didn't make all my problems go away, but it gave me the opportunity to, I think the biggest thing it taught me was to be able to respond in situations rather than reacting to everything. Because the reaction always got me in trouble, right? So it gave me the opportunity to just kind of pause and really think about, does this even matter? Do you even care about this? Is it going to matter in 5 minutes? So I was grateful when my therapist first introduced blind spotting to me, and just kind of I said blind spotting. I always say that, brain spotting. It's a blind spot, okay?
I did not correct you.
You like go off. For the people listening, it's really called brain spotting. Don't listen to me. I'm not the expert. But I do. I am always grateful, even though I run from it sometimes, because I have that fear of the unknown, because for me, I feel like it keeps unlocking. It's like another level of Super Mario for me. I don't know what's going to happen next. And so every time I do it, it unlocks something. But I will say it's never unlocked anything bad or negative. It has always taken me to another positive level, excuse me, in my healing journey. And like I said, I need a nap afterwards, but I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what I need.
you're when that happens, that means you're putting in the work and you're doing what you need to do. And we encourage people to drink water and get plenty of rest afterwards, because it's a lot. Think about it. You're using the largest muscle in your body
Hmm.
to do some really big, heavy lifting. So of course you're going to be tired.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to be tired.
Well, I know that, we got to be respectful of time. So before, we get too into this, I want to take an opportunity to say thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, and really just speaking from your heart today. We're definitely going to have to come back with another round of this, because I'm sure that people are going to have questions and they're going to want to know more. And I'm running to you because I don't have those answers. Okay.
Okay.
And honestly, you've given, just this conversation has given me a deeper understanding as to why, emotional healing is so essential. And I know that there's so many more things that you can talk about and share with us. So like I said, we'll definitely have to get back in the studio and do some more. Before we wrap up, I want to give you the mic, right? Like, I want you to have this opportunity to let our listeners know how they can connect with you. Whether it's your website, social media, if you have any upcoming events or workshops or anything else you'd like to share. I just want to kind of turn this over to you for a moment and let you speak from your heart and tell them what you want to know, them to know.
Well, I just want to say that, emotional wellness is just as important as physical wellness. Really taking the time to understand who you are can help you find out the whys and the whats. I feel like, as I told her earlier, we grew up in an age of stigmas about mental health, but those stigmas are not true. Mental wellness is very important for all of us, especially in this day and age. So I would encourage you, talk to someone. Talk to someone professional, not Pookie, not Keisha, because sometimes they can't help you with everything that you need help with. It's okay to have friends that you confide in and stuff like that too, but having that professional help, that professional ear that can help you to navigate life and everything that it brings at you, because it doesn't stop. It does come at you really fast. Is very important now. So if you don't know me, and trusting me and everything that I say is not something that a lot of people may do, but trust me when I say it is necessary to have someone to talk to. I am Laura Davis Perry. I am the owner of Conquering Walls Counseling Agency. We're located physically in Reynoldsburg, Ohio. We offer counseling services to individuals ages 10 to 65. We do individual, group, family, some couples therapy. And we focus on helping people to tear down those walls that cause the barriers that they have in life with moving forward. You can find our information on our website. It is www.conqueringwallscounselingllc.com. Our phone number is 614-357-0686. We are also located on different outlets like Psychology Today, Therapy for Black Girls, and different things like that if you want to find out more information about us. Also, we have a book out, and I would encourage you to get this. I'm very big on self-care, and we published this book last year, and it is called Count It All Peace. And what Count It All Peace is a therapeutic coloring book for self-care. And this book, it will take you on a journey from strength to new beginnings in 10 weeks. And each chapter has a different meaning, and it talks to you about it. And then it has the number here where you can color it in increments throughout that week as you journal about the topic of the week. Like the first week is strength, or I'm strong. And the last one is new beginnings. So all of those things in between, resilience, love, kindness, you name it, they're in there. So check us out on Amazon. The book is called Count It All Peace. You can also access it on our website. But that's me in a nutshell. I hope to see you guys soon when we do our next interview. Thank you, Shantae.
Thank you so much. No problem. I know you have to run. I'll be sure to link everything for everyone. And we're just thankful and grateful that you were able to be here with us today. And we look forward to you joining us again real soon.
I look forward to it too. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Thank you. To everyone listening, I want you to hear this loud and clear. Your feelings are not flaws. They're flags. They're telling you something important, something that needs attention, love, or maybe even release. We often treat our emotions like something to hide or suppress, but they're really just signals from our inner selves guiding us towards healing. Remember, you can't heal what you can't feel. And here's the truth. Today is a brand new day, and it's the perfect opportunity to start reconnecting. No matter where you are on your journey, it is never too late to listen to your feelings, embrace them, and begin your healing process. I encourage you to take this moment to honor your emotions. They're leading you to the freedom, peace, and growth that you deserve. If you wish to connect with Laura, please be sure to follow her on Instagram at Conquering Walls Counseling. And it's also encouraged that you visit her website at www.conqueringwallscounselingllc.com to learn more about her work and how you can tap into your own healing journey. And don't forget to purchase a copy of Count It All Peace, the adult coloring and meditation journal by Laura Davis Perry, now available on Amazon. It's a beautiful tool to help you center, reflect, and create space for peace in your life. I got mine. What are you waiting on? Now, as we wrap up today's episode, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you for joining us. If you've enjoyed our time together, be sure to give us a follow, subscribe to our channel, so that way you never miss out on our latest content. And hey, if you're ready to share your story or insight and you'd like to be a featured voice on this podcast, we'd love to hear from you. Reach out to me directly and let's talk about scheduling your recording session. Also, be sure to visit us at selfcareclub.org. There, you can book a personalized one-on-one coaching session, check out our affirmative apparel and other motivational merch, as well as dive into a treasure trove of free resources designed just for you. Whether you are looking to elevate your self-care game or you just need an extra moment of inspiration, we've got you covered. I thank you for being a part of the Self-Care Club community, and I'm so grateful for you. But until next time, I encourage you to keep breathing, stay positive, and remember that you will always be supported here at the Self-Care Club. Don't be afraid to take up space and make a little room for you to breathe. I pray that you all have an amazing day on purpose, filled with nothing but purpose, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Now, stay tuned after the podcast for a little music from Room to Breathe.
In the mirror, I see a little girl staring back at me, eyes full of innocence, heartache too. All the wounds she didn't choose. I've carried her pain for so long, but now it's time to right the wrongs. Gonna hold her close, let her know she's safe with me, I won't let go. Healing the little girl in me with love and grace, setting her free from every tear that she cried, to every dream that was denied. I'm holding her hand, we'll make it through together, me and you. Through the storms, through the rain, I'll shield her from the hurt and the pain. We'll dance through memories, rewrite our story, embracing the strength and vulnerability. I've carried her pain for so long, but now it's time to right the wrongs. Gonna hold her close, let her know she's safe with me, I won't let go. Healing the little girl in me with love and grace, setting her free from every tear that she cried, to every dream that was denied. I'm holding her hand, we'll make it through together, me and you. No more hiding in the shadows of the past. We'll paint the future with colors that last. Strength and vulnerability, beauty and scars. Together we'll reach for the stars. Healing the little girl in me with love and grace, setting her free from every tear that she cried, to every dream that was denied. I'm holding her hand, we'll make it through together, me and you. Together, me and you.